It's now time for Me and My Roku with your host, Peter Clay.
HBO Max is Jordan Love.
Incidentally, this is Peter.
So we have a voicemail now from Peter.
Pete, you are not the
Not everybody sounds like Peter Clay.
More CEOs named Peter.
Peter Clay is here today.
Holy crap, it's Peter.
Pete, are you able to say something nice?
Well, hello again, everybody, and welcome to another thrilling, exhilarating, and interesting edition of Me and My Roku. I'm your host, Peter Clay. Welcome aboard. I get to watch the levels here for the first time and get to see what's going on. A little different setup today here. Hope you can tell the difference or not. That's the way it goes. Welcome aboard. I'm your host, Peter Clay. This is a show about me and my adventures in the streaming world. The title is Me and My Roku, but in all honesty, I'm going through all the different variations of streaming devices. Right now I'm about 75% Roku, 20% Apple TV, and 5%, or what's left here, 5% Fire TV. I've kind of given up on the Chromecast and our Chromecast on their Android TV. Right now, it's just, I was intrigued by the Chromecast with Google TV that just came out. But I'm going to pass on that for right now and kind of give up on Chromecast for just right now because all the different devices that I'm using right now have all those same type of features now. And what's nice about some of these things is that some of these devices are actually starting to play nice with each other. You know, you can get the Roku channel on Fire TV and you can do different things. Google is playing nice with everything. So, you know, there's cast-like features from Google products like YouTube and YouTube Music and all that stuff. So I can cast them on my Roku and all that stuff too. So we're not exclusive here, but that's what we prefer around here, and hopefully the things that I learn and find out and discuss here and sharing with you inspires you and all that stuff. So that's the whole idea, is about the joy of learning, not the whole point I tell you like, oh, I watched Tiger King, and oh. So if you're here for Tiger King or Queen's Gambit or something like that, you've come to the wrong place. That's okay, because I don't tell you what to watch. If you want to watch those things, that's fine. I just kind of teach you here, if anything, that all these things are available to you. And you can go learn and explore on your own. So if you want to watch the Queen's Gambit and all that stuff, because do you really want to hear me talk about like Doctor Who or anything like that? Yeah, you're like, no, I don't like Doctor Who. Or maybe you do like Doctor Who, but you don't care what I think about it. You know, you care about what you think about it. So it's all good. Hey, we got a lot to get to here today. So let's get started. Okay. Well, Amazon has announced on their Fire TV News app that they'll now carry live local news. Well, isn't that exciting, everything? You're always wondering, well, if I'm going to cut the cord and all that stuff, how am I going to get my live local news? Well, there you have it. And then I did a little research on there, and I went to the Amazon Prime Video app on the Roku and found out it's not available there. It's only available on the Fire TV devices. So my first thought was to go to that story, get rid of it. And then I found out that it was only in the top 12 markets. And then I was like, get rid of that. I'm in the 81st TV market, so it doesn't help me at all here and all that stuff. So it'll be the top 90, but hopefully by the end of the year if this works well. And once again, it does not work on the Roku, so you need a Fire TV device for the Fire TV News app. And then I thought, well, okay, well, we have a Roku here. We have a very interesting device here that's capable of many things. We're not dependent on any service. What can I do to get live local news? So I did a little research in there and went to my AVOD apps, my advertising video on demand apps. They're free apps. I know these things to acronym things. I'm not a big acronym person. If you ever figured that out, I listened to some Tony Robbins before, and he'd always acronymize things. It was like, hey, everyone ready to OPA today? OPA. What was it? Outcome, purpose, action. Outcome, purpose, action. OPA. AVOD. Everyone ready to AVOD today? AVOD. Oh, advertising, video on demand. Free apps, okay? Let's make it even simpler. I know acronizing is trying to get something to make it simple and stuff. Well, we can make it even simpler. Free apps. I know technically they're all free apps. It's then whether you have to pay for the subscription after that. But so your Pluto TV, Tubi, Roku channel, all those, Distro TV even. So all of them have sufficient news. Now, your live local news, though, I went back and re-downloaded the Vuit, V-U-I-T app. And kind of in preparation, I'm just paid for my last month of YouTube TV for the football season, and I'm starting to get those crazy little thoughts in my head. It's like, oh, maybe I don't need all these things. Discovery Plus is coming, and I got Disney Plus, and I got the second half of Lucifer is coming out. I can get Netflix. So do I really need YouTube TV? Mm-hmm. These thoughts come to my head. So in planning ahead type of thing, I brought back Vuit, and sure enough, 2 of the 4 stations that have local news here are available on Vuit, and that's sufficient because one of the 2 is the ones that we watch. So that's another option for you as well. And if you just need news, just to know a general idea of what's going on in the world, there's plenty of that stuff out there, and plenty of then there's News Y, and there's a whole bunch of other things, and Haystack and all that good stuff too. So plenty of things. You don't really need an Amazon Fire TV app with your live local news on it, especially if you're only in the top 12 markets in there, because there are plenty of markets out there. There's more of us out there than you know. We don't just live in the top 12 markets, but that's okay. It's okay because our Roku is here to save us here on Me and My Roku.
You, your friends, and your Johnson.
Okay, so to wrap a bow on the live local news thing, during the break there, I did a little research there. Now, I could have probably done that beforehand, but what fun would that be when we can live on the fly here, live on the edge? So, one thing to also remember is that your local news station, your local TV station, may have its own Roku app. I just did a little research during the break there and found out that 2 of the 3 stations here had their own Roku app right there. And one of them had, what do you know, live news. And a lot of other background stories if you want to go back to the story that you missed or anything like that. Also weather and sports and all that stuff. That was one of the things, the station that we like. They used to have a Roku app, and then they went away for a while, and now it's back. And what we always used to like to do is the weather forecaster, every 4 hours or so, would do a weather update. So every time before we'd go to bed, Now, the other thing was just like it's on your phone, too. That's the thing. So when I was doing the research there, I found out, yes, 2 of them had Roku apps. All 3 of the stations here had news on their website. So and live streaming of that. So and it didn't matter whether it was on your computer or on the phone. So it was all there for you and all that stuff too. So that's another thing. Remember, you can cut the cord from your TV, cut your cable, and still get your live local news either on your phone, your computer, or now on some of them, depending on what station you like, on the Roku app. So just wrapping a little bow. So right now we can officially now say to the Fire TV News app, and you can get your live local news on your Roku here on Me and My Roku. I can say whatever I want, like boogers. Okay, the news you've all been waiting for, or the lack of news. Yes, once again, folks, we're going to talk about HBO Max. Now, executives at HBO Max are now saying they are having daily talks with Roku about getting on their service, finally. And we can all rest and be calm, cool, and collected and know that our Rokus now will have just about everything. We've got 98.6 of everything right now, but oh my gosh, if we don't get that HBO Max, life is going to end as we know it for the streaming world. Anyway, in the meantime, Roku's earnings just keep on growing and growing and growing, and HBO Max is just out there. They're out there, and we all know it, and it's all good. In the meantime, Warner Media, the parent of HBO Max, has announced that all 17 of their upcoming movies will be released this year, day and date, in theaters and on HBO Max. They'll be on HBO Max for 30 days, and the window for in the theater is up to the theaters, basically. So that 30-day time, usually 90 days has been the window. Now, of course, we've seen that shrink to 17, and it's just shrinking before it all goes away. We don't know when we can go back into theaters. Again, we know there's a vaccine coming. We see light at the end of the tunnel, but we don't know. Theaters are basically a non-issue right now. It's not even a thought. I know we all like to think and like to go. Some theaters are open in some places with spacing and all that good stuff, but somebody needed to make a decision here, and Warner did, and I applaud them for that. You got to do what you got to do. These things cannot sit in the can forever and all that stuff. They need to get out there. They can't just sit around and all that stuff, taking up space and all that stuff. And so, a good deal there for all. I'm still holding on to my prediction that by Christmas, there will be a deal between HBO Max and Roku, and you'll be able to watch Wonder Woman 1984 on your Roku without having to AirPlay or anything along those lines. So, that's the news there. We'll see. Now, not everybody's happy about that. Obviously, the theaters aren't happy, but what can you do? We're in a pandemic, and, business is business type of thing. As far as the HBO and Roku goes, a lot of stories out there saying that now the pressure is on Roku to make the deal. I'm looking at this balance sheet here, and I'm seeing Roku up 73% with a revenue of $452 million. I see AT&T, the parent company of Warner Media, and I think Roku's doing okay. Warner Media, HBO Max are doing what they have to do, and I understand it. They have a brand and stuff. Let's try an analogy here on actually where HBO Max is here in the grand scheme of things in the streaming world, okay? So let's just say in a bizarro world here, Roku is the Green Bay Packers, okay? And let's just say now Hulu left Roku, okay? That would be the equivalent of the Packers losing Davante Adams, okay? They're talented wide receivers, all, that would make an effect on it. It wouldn't kill Roku, but you'd make you think about Roku a little differently, okay? Now, say in this bizarro world, Roku lost Netflix, and it was no longer available on Roku. Well, that would be like losing Aaron Rodgers, okay? That's your big thing. Now, you know my thoughts about Netflix and all that stuff. It's a bit overrated and all that stuff, but it's a big deal to a lot of people and all that stuff. And if you lost Netflix on Roku, you'd be like, ooh, yeah, that's a big deal, okay? My first thought that HBO Max was like Preston Smith, good player, but if you lost him and all that stuff, he takes a lot off the other edge on the defense and all that stuff. He gets some sacks, he makes some plays every now and then again. But in reality, HBO Max is Jordan Love, okay? He's the first-round draft pick of the Green Bay Packers. They hope they don't need him. He hasn't even been active yet, hasn't been played, but he's the shiny new toy. Everyone's kind of like interested. Oh, what is this going to mean to Netflix? Is it going to upset Netflix that HBO Max is over here? Oh my God. So look at Aaron Rodgers. He's still going, and Netflix still number one and all that stuff. And now Netflix is better than ever. It's got the Queen's Gambit and all that stuff, and it's running up for MVP. Aaron Rodgers, 9-3. Now being talked for MVP and all that stuff. And while Jordan Love, not active, not even doing anything. But shiny toy might be here in the future. Could take over someday. Because time's undefeated. All these things. We've seen lots of things come and go in this stuff. So, HBO Max, you're Jordan Love right now. You're on the bench. You're on other devices. You're playing over there. And like, ooh, look at us over here. I'm doing pretty well. Just like he's in practice. He's showing some things. Showing some moves. Da-da-da. So that's the analogy. During all these streaming wars and all that stuff, the best thing that we can do as viewers is just watch the carnage and all that stuff and scoop up whatever we can and all that stuff. Like I say, on the Roku, we have 98.6 of what's available for streaming on our devices. And like some of us who are crazy, we have other devices and all that stuff. If we had to get HBO Max, we can and all that stuff. And like I say, you can now AirPlay it too, which gets a little wonky sometimes. But anyway, it's all going to be okay. So, and also some of the movie makers, like Kong versus Godzilla, I know you were going to wait in line to get into that. They're thinking about suing and all that stuff because we didn't agree about this. You said it was going to be in the theater type of thing. It's like, okay, hello, pandemic. You're lucky your movie is even to be watched. And I would actually be more likely to watch it if it was on HBO Max and not in the theater. I'm going to say, honey, put the dog in the kennel. Let's go. We're going to go see Godzilla versus Kong. Yeah. Or we can just say, hey, let's go downstairs. Let's watch a movie. And you got a 50-50 shot there, you know? So it's all good. This is all going to work out. Life is going to go on. We're going to get vaccinated. And if we want to go to theaters again, maybe we can. If not, we've got our Rokus and all that stuff. HBO Max, if it comes, it comes. If it's not, we got Discovery Plus. We've got AVODs. We got SVODs. Sounds like a disease. I have AVOD, Doc. Can you help me out there? Well, you should go to an SVOD. Plenty of things still to watch on your Roku here on me and my Roku.
Come on now.
Okay, kids, let's gather around at a safe distance here, but just so we can have a chit-chat here and discuss things here a little bit, but let's do things a little differently. Instead of me saying you should go to the Internet Archive at archive.org, consider a donation, consider supporting them because they've supported me and all my podcasts since 2005. Instead, let's look at it from a creator point of view and what all the things that the Internet Archive is available to, not just getting it as a resource of books and movies and podcasts and all that good stuff, as a way for a creator to put their stuff on. Like, hello, podcaster here. November was National Novel Writing Month, or NaMoWriMo, or something or other, things like that. So what do you do with your project when you're done? Consider the Internet Archive and all that stuff. They have a way for you to even just test your work and all that stuff. So you can put it out there for 30 days and see if, it gets in. So if you want to put a little website or something together or something like that, throw a link on there from the Internet Archive and all that stuff to show your work for that 30 days and just see what the results are and all that stuff. It's just a consideration. Check it out today at archive.org on that. A lot of the programs that I use on the Roku and all that stuff, I get through gift cards, and ways I do that, there's a couple different ways and all that stuff, but one of the ways I would like to share with you is at swagbucks.radioaffliction.com. Just check it out. When you go to that link, and it's also in the show notes here where you get this podcast, go directly to that link. You're all set to go then. All you got to do is sign up for yourself and just check it out. Get some gift cards and get some programming for yourself, or to go shopping, or whatever you want to do. It's up to you at that point. That's what I do here on the show. I just tell you what I do, and the rest is up to you and all that stuff. So check that out today at swagbucks.radioaffliction.com. And if you want to publish a book or anything like that, or do a podcast or anything like that, check out the Internet Archive at archive.org. Okay, time for some news and notes. And for us with Disney Plus, our patience has finally been rewarded. Mulan is now available to all Disney Plus subscribers at no extra cost. It was part of the Premier plan where you could get it for $30 with your Disney Plus subscription, but no longer. Now part of your plan. Hooray! More stuff being available on Disney Plus as things come out now. That's what they're going to be doing. That's awesome, as we like to say in the word. Hallmark Movies and More is now available on Zumo and AVOD. We just love that word today. Yes, Zumo, fine service. I have only so much AVOD I can handle. Like I said, my doctor says I need to cut back and all that stuff. So I have Pluto, I have Roku channel and distro and all that stuff. But Zumo is a fine channel, and if you need snowflakes, gazebos, the true meaning of Christmas, and true love, and all that good stuff, Hallmark movies and more is now available for you on Zumo. Hey! Last week I talked about 12 movies being available on Peacock. Well, not to be outdone, YouTube has decided we're going to have 19 James Bond movies available for free with ads. Just go to youtube.com/movies or search on your Roku app on your Roku. The 19 movies include Never Say Never Again, which was not in the original canon, but does not include Die Another Day, which is in the canon, and all the Daniel Craig movies. But 19 is a lot. So once again, if you need that James Bond fix, there's Amazon Prime, there's Peacock, there's the Pluto TV channel, and now YouTube. But there's also the original Terminator on YouTube and Christmas in Vermont. If you just need that fix. Actually, I was looking through the free with ads on YouTube, and there's some stuff to melt your brain there if you need to, and all that stuff. So, speaking of melting the brains and all that stuff, getting a little itchy, a little twitchy, I should get back to my Roku and all that stuff. So, but thank you so much for joining me today on this. If you need more updates and all that stuff, please check out meandmyroku.com. I'm starting to get a little better at that. Also announcing things more on Twitter and all that stuff too. We'll check that out as well. If you want to know how I get gift cards and all that stuff, check out swagbucks.radioaffliction.com. All the gift cards I get there to watch this programming for free, you can do the same. It's all up to you and all that. Once again, thank you to archive.org for their support for everything that they do and all that stuff, and supporting me and the bandwidth of this podcast and all the podcasts I've done since 2005. To really help out the program and all that stuff, you can subscribe to this podcast, and please do, or tell a friend and all that stuff. You can subscribe to the Me and My Roku podcast on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Stitcher, Spreaker, Spotify, TuneIn, Amazon Music, Gaana, JioSaavn, SoundCloud, YouTube, iHeartMedia, Podbean, Pandora, and Radio.com. Follow me on Twitter at Radio Affliction and on Instagram at Pierre Argyle. And if you need more one-on-one questions, comments, or anything along those lines, email me at meandmyrokupodcast@gmail.com. Hey, I hope you are enjoying you and your Roku as much as I'm enjoying me and my Roku. And I'll be back with you real soon.